Welcome back to Into the Chatterverse, where two gents share their 2 cents on pop media. I am Victor Dandridge, lovingly called the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill, and I am an ageist.
Not an ageist. You are very thoughtful and mindful, very demure, about the concept of age being a factor in some of the presentations of characters that we're going to see on the big screen. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like conversations like that, definitely hit the subscribe button because you're going to want to stick around for all the things that we talk about because we do this all the time. What we're going to talk about today specifically is we're going to fan cast the upcoming DCU's Justice League. And is it fair to say just Justice League? Can we say Justice League adjacent as well, just in case some of these characters pop up, but they're not actually in the league?
Well, it depends on how you want to define that, because Batman, when they
Is a
rebooted,
reservist. Right.
He's like, "I'll be there when you need me." Type thing.
Non-committal. You know, if he's so non-committal, does he get to write off aspects of the Justice League as tax stuff? Like, is that R&D? Does he get to say that, or does he actually have to commit? I've always wondered this.
Do you think Batman has a I-9?
Absolutely. I feel like Batman has an LLC. He's got the series Batman Incorporated for a reason. He totally trademarked it. He is making money off of this. Like every bit of merch that you see with Batman on it, yeah, Bruce is getting a piece. He's getting a piece of that.
Okay, so the point behind this is that it leaked that James Brolin was offered the job as Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan
for the new Lanterns. Is that what
Yes,
it's called?
yes.
TV show that's on Max. And I'm not thrilled with that.
I mean, for the record, why?
Because I don't like the idea of Hal Jordan being that old.
Okay.
I realize that when it comes to Green Lantern, it just depends on where you picked up from it. And Hal Jordan is my Green Lantern.
Okay.
Never been a huge fan of Guy Gardner until Batman punched him out.
Does that still make you a fan of him?
But that,
what happened to him?
Yeah, that was the point of that character anyway. And I didn't like Jon Stewart until Justice League.
I get you.
But I don't mind the idea of the mentor thing. But
it's a huge age gap.
Well, and also with all the stories they've been telling lately,
Right.
They're either going to turn him or kill him or turn him and kill him. I would rather have Hal Jordan as he shows up from time to time.
Got you.
If that's what they want to do. If they want Jon Stewart as the primary Green Lantern, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Sure.
I just would like to see something different.
I definitely understand and agree with everything that you say on a foundational level with that, because I think that there's an interesting conversation, and I've heard interviews and whatnot with like Dwayne McDuffie, who was a comic book writer and producer on the Justice League cartoon, who unfortunately passed away in, I think, 2011. But he commented on how at the time of the live action movie coming out, most people's understanding of who Green Lantern was Jon Stewart because of the Justice League cartoon.
Right.
And even in the books, Hal Jordan was dead. And in order to kind of create that synergy of the movie coming out starring Ryan Reynolds, that they brought Hal back in order to make that work. And how he, like boots on the ground, heard people confused on the basis of, wait, Green Lantern's white? Like, why did they do that? Like, they didn't know who Hal Jordan was. And so in sort of deference to that idea of them not necessarily making Green Lantern Hal Jordan off the rip, if they want to focus on John but establish that Hal exists, I think that's a smart play.
Yeah.
But again, I think that in that regard, there has to be, or there should be, something bigger at play that establishes why he's not here. I think that's one of those key things that as you're developing this new DCU, you have to put points of tension in other places that make it important for, characters to be off-world. So, like, in a weird sort of way, you've got, I have to make the reference to the MCU, and you've got the threat of Thanos, but the Avengers don't know about it right away. Like, not at all. Ironically, it's Josh Brolin, but he wasn't at the time when we first get introduced to him.
Right.
But, like, that's a threat outside of Earth that they don't know anything about that other people have to deal with. And that would be something interesting if they set that up. Now, I will be honest, I don't want it to be Darkseid. I'm tired of Darkseid being the issue. I'm over it, and I'm very concerned that by setting up this idea of Hal not being on Earth, that's somehow going to tie into Darkseid in some way, shape, or form, and I just wish that they would come up with something else.
So you know where Lanterns takes place?
I don't, actually. Is it Earth? Okay, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Okay. It takes place somewhere in America,
Oh, in America? Oh, wait. No, that's not the same.
and it's filmed in UK. So it's probably somewhere in the Midwest where it takes place.
But it's a whole sector of worlds here. 2814, there's so many different places you could go. Why has it got to be on Earth?
I don't know. To ground it?
No! That's the opposite of what I want for this.
Well, but if you think it in terms of, is he mentoring his replacement,
Right.
or is he mentoring his replacement on Earth because Earth is so vital for
Whatever is coming.
a Green Lantern to be there?
I mean, in the stories, it does become that, right? Earth
Yeah.
becomes the center point of all the action and things. I think at one point they even say, like, Earth is actually the center piece of some sort of evolutionary thing, that everyone's coming towards Earth for some odd reason.
Yeah.
Oa is supposed to be the absolute center of the universe, and Earth is just something really important. I'm torn on that one, if I'm being honest, because I think that having a standpoint on Earth, sure, in terms of stories, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be more interesting from a storytelling standpoint that Jon Stewart is on other worlds and he has to refer back to things through flashback or something like that of Earth-based, concepts for how he addresses cosmic ones. I'd like that.
So we're under the impression that Jon Stewart is in training, right?
Right.
Okay. So would you want him to learn how to use his ring places he doesn't care about? Remember how powerful the ring is.
Yes.
Or would you rather it be where he can control himself because
he has to.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna make me put on my biggest nerdy hat. The ring should only pick you if you can handle yourself in places that aren't just yours, because otherwise, if it's just a matter of where you're from that you care, there's an aspect of fear, and it shouldn't work for you. So it should actually work better.
I guess it depends on which version of that you're talking about.
That is true. Because
you were supposed to be without fear,
right,
as opposed to the potential
of being able to handle fear.
Yes,
right. Because they did change it to where it's not that.
It's not necessarily fear either. It's
right.
more or less because So here's the thing about that, and you also make my point, because if you're completely fearless,
right,
at
you're
using
dangerous.
the ring, that makes you dangerous.
You're dangerous.
But if you are you're cognizant of the damage that you can make.
Right.
That's not necessarily fear.
Right.
But you have an idea of that you can do serious damage
if I'm not careful.
Yeah.
So, okay, to that end, I think that's been part of the story evolution of Hal Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at first they were approaching, he's fearless. He's a fighter pilot or a test pilot, and he would do all this stuff, and it would be crazy, and he would do it because he's not afraid. And they realized that at some point, no, in the sense of what you're saying in terms of storytelling, that's a dangerous person. You can't give them this kind of tool to do that. I think that's a very interesting thing. Now, is the tone of this supposed to be more cop-oriented or soldier war story-oriented? Do you know?
I think it's more cop. I think it's supposed to be true detective type.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if I were to guess,
yeah,
there was something came from space,
right?
And is it probably infesting or taking over a certain part of America?
Got you.
So that's what's going on.
Okay. All right. That it creates so many interesting points of view, right?
Yeah.
Because how many different characters that we know of potentially are aliens that have come to Earth? so far. So we know like Kryptonians,
Yep.
aliens. Depending on how they're doing, Hawk Girl, Thanagarians are aliens. Fingers crossed. I don't know.
I would think that would be the route they're going.
Okay, so that's at least 2
Martians.
Do we know for sure that Martian Manhunter is going to be in this?
He's got to be.
I mean, I would hope. I mean, they did the Chaco thing, so yeah, I would. Okay, so that's at least 3 alien races, species, or whatever that we know have come to Earth and reside here. So there should be some outlook, of we need to make sure we're watching who's coming here to make sure that everyone that comes here is to our benefit.
Yeah. Well, it also would depend on when Hal Jordan becomes Green Lantern, because you would know that there's
another whole bunch of species out there.
But anyway, past
That's
the story and everything,
yeah,
who would you cast as Hal Jordan?
So my choice for Hal Jordan is James Marsden.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
See, I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
I think he's due a superhero return. Respectfully, he was not given a fair shake as Cyclops, and he definitely wasn't given a fair shake in Superman Returns.
Well, he wasn't. He was an ancillary character in Superman
And yet he was the
Returns.
most heroic character in Superman Returns. No powers, flying into danger as a pilot. Just want that out there. So yeah, I would like James Marsden to be Hal Jordan. I think he's got the build, he's got the personality for it. I like him.
Also, I can't stand Cyclops. So
I mean, does anyone actually like Cyclops?
I know people that like stuff.
Do they say they like Cyclops? Prove it. Like, is he inked on your person? Like that. That's what I want to see. I've never seen a person with a Cyclops tattoo. Prove me wrong, people. At Vantage and House on Twitter, please show me your Cyclops tattoos. I want to see them.
Anyway,
I'm so nervous about what I'm about to get.
and the more I think about it, I think Chris Pine.
Chris Pine is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The taste of Steve Trevor has not been washed away from my palate yet.
I have never had a problem with his Steve Trevor.
It's not that I have a problem with his Steve Trevor, but I hated Wonder Woman 84 so much.
Yeah, well, who did like it?
I mean, that's also true.
Yeah.
But he was such a...
It was pointless for him to be in it.
Yes, and I would want a separation from him from the new DC.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
And like I told you, I just don't want Thanos.
Why is Brolin collecting all these superhero
Cable.
roles? Like Infinity
Jonah
Stones.
Hex.
Like literally. Is that what it is? He's got 2 for Marvel, so he's got to get 2 for DC to balance it out.
You look at Chris Evans.
1, 2,
Losers.
3. Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'm sure there's another one out there.
Was Push a comic book?
I don't know.
I don't
It was
think
a
it
comic
was.
book,
Yeah.
but it was definitely like X-Men.
Yeah,
centric.
it definitely had some vibes.
But still,
to it.
that's 3 characters.
It is
right
3,
there.
solid, like right
Yeah.
there. Most people don't even know Losers was a comic book,
Yeah,
so
that-
good job
I
on that
know.
one. Absolutely.
They're people that do multiple things.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But I mean, like that many though.
Yeah.
Like, wait, since you said Losers, oh my God, wait. So, where are we going?
Was this Idris Elba in that?
Idris is in that one.
So he was in
Zoe's in that one.
Ghost Rider, and he was in the Marvel Universe.
Yes,
also.
yes.
So, yeah.
So okay, all right.
Oh, and he was in Suicide Squad.
Oh crap, he was. Oh my God. Ah!
Anyway.
Okay. All right.
All right. So you've got Hal down.
Yes.
John Stewart.
Okay, so Jon Stewart is a tricky one for me because of the age demographic. And I feel like he has to be someone that is a relatively young black actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that I am up on all of the potential young black actors there could be. I'm like a couple years off. The first person that comes to mind, and I cannot think of his name, so I feel like a jerk. He played Lawrence, I think his name is Lawrence, in what was it? In the show Insecurity by Issa Rae. He was also in the first Escape Room movie. I want to say he was in that one. And I cannot think of his name. And you're gonna help me out. There it is, Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis. I like him as Jon Stewart. Now, age-wise, is he my age? Practically my age, so that might be a little too old. Yeah, because that makes him like 40. He'll be 43 this year. Is that too old? I think that might be too old.
I want to say that he's got to be mid to late 20s.
Okay, so yeah,
But,
definitely too old.
well, but, I mean,
not that you can't pull it off.
yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sure like there's gonna be someone that's gonna be like Caleb McLaughlin, and I think that that's unfair because Caleb is just one of the most recognizable young black actors.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you throw out any young black actor and they're gonna, or a young black superhero, and they're gonna say Caleb, which is not necessarily the best, smartest thing. I know that's tricky too. So like I know Shameik Moore and Najee Jeter, both fantastic actors. Both are predominantly known for voice acting as Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
One for the Into the Spider-Verse, one for the game. Both would like to do live action. Jon Stewart has not been spoken on their radar, but it would be an interesting thing to get that. I think it would be interesting for Shameik because he has such a very soft-spoken nature to him that sounds super young.
Yeah.
I think that would be interesting. Najee could be interesting. Najee's a very slim guy though, so like he would have to bulk up like a lot in order to do.
They could put it in the suit.
No.
Shazam.
No. Please don't do that. Give him the opportunity to get comic book big. Just because I would prefer that natural look than a suit. That's scary. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a choice?
David Johnson.
Help me
Alien
out.
Ramos.
That's a good one. That's a really
He
good
was
choice.
great.
He was phenomenal.
He was the best. And as I enjoyed the movie, he was the best part of the
He
movie.
absolutely was. As Andy, man, and you talk about range of emotion. Like he had it all.
Yeah.
He had the stoic. Yep. He had the curious. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm all for that. That's a good choice. Damn it. That's a really good choice. Okay. Yeah. I can co-sign that one. David Johnson, all day, every day. Yeah. Now, what if they switched it? I know this is crazy, just to throw it out there. I don't think it's what they're going to do. But if they switched it where John was first and Hal was second, would that change who you wanted overall? Like,
yeah, because I would want someone older for Jon Stewart,
right?
and
But like, who would you want for Hal if they were to switch it? I know that's blasphemy. Obviously, Hal was first.
I'd go with Glenn Powell.
I like Glenn Powell as a young Hal Jordan. Yeah. I do. Okay.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
It would work.
We chatted about this briefly before. My choice for Glenn Powell, if I were just to pick Glenn Powell and put him somewhere, I would want him as Barry Allen Flash.
I just think he's too big.
Like too tall?
Yeah.
How tall is he?
He's also ripped.
I mean, he is ripped, but I think like that works for me in terms of someone whose metabolism is super high. And I don't think he's like
I would think he needs
super
to be
wide.
I think he needs to be thinner because his metabolism is
super high.
Super high.
Would you?
He's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot. That's not too bad. Would you go classic Aquaman for him?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he can pull it off.
It's fair. I think it's an interesting, like looking at him, I'm like, huh.
I mean, if they actually wanted to bring back Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I'd be all on board with that because his version of Aquaman
was fun.
And I think that's what it's what it needs.
Yeah.
But also, do I care about Aquaman?
No, you don't care about Aquaman. Who does exactly?
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Okay, so we've got Green Lantern. I've thrown out my Flash. Who would you pick as Flash? And would it be Barry? I mean, let's start off with that.
I think it would be Barry. I've never been a huge fan of Wally outside of Rosenbaum.
I mean, because he was great.
Yeah,
he was absolutely great as the young one.
I've never really thought too much about it. To be honest with you. And off the top of my head, I think it would be funny if you got Harry Potter.
Oh my God. It was so who I was going to say.
If Daniel Radcliffe
Oh,
played.
no, I wasn't going to say Daniel. I was going to go Rupert. I was going to go
Rupert
for
Grint?
for Ron. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, if it's Wally West, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I'll give you Rupert Grint. But
If
Daniel Radcliffe.
interesting as Barry, though. I like it. He's shorter,
Yeah.
but he's scrappy,
And he's also ripped.
very ripped. He's definitely ripped. But I could totally see him being a forensic nerd off rip. Like it would almost be like it would be the actual evolution of what they wanted. What's his name that was just Flash? What they wanted him to be like?
Ezra Miller.
Yes, but not as annoying. Like it would be like,
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah. Okay, all right. Those are good choices. Those are very good choices.
I threw Green Arrow in there because I just want Charlie Hunnam to play.
Let's go. That's such a good choice.
Because even if you go younger, he can look a little younger. But if you want to go older,
he does that well too.
And I keep watching The Gentleman.
I love that movie. Yeah. Okay, I love that movie.
And there's so much to love about that movie.
Yes.
But he's great in it, and I really liked him in Sons of Anarchy. Everything else he's been in, he's been fine. He's
been good. I feel like he doesn't get a fair shake. I liked King Arthur. I thought it was a fun movie. I think either timing of it or whatever, it just didn't get the love that it should have. But I liked that movie.
I think if you call it something else, it might
maybe
might get it.
Would you still keep the same theme? Like it's still King Arthur, but you just call it something else?
Yeah,
I got you. No,
or
I
you
have
could just hint that it's Arthur.
That would be fine with me. I have no other submissions for Green Arrow. I think that is a spot on choice. Especially, obviously Queen Industries is supposed to be an American company, but there's something cool about having someone from the UK be the face of Queen Industries.
He can do a USS.
He can, but I don't know that in terms of story that it absolutely, like, Oliver Queen absolutely has to be American. I don't think that he does.
No, I would say the same thing about Stephen Strange. It would have been a much better character if he was English. He would come across so pompous.
Yes, he would. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Okay. All right.
So you can't come up with anyone for Green
No,
Arrow?
I do. I think that's a perfect choice.
Right.
Like, honestly. But now it does inspire a different take on Aquaman, but we'll get to that. Unless you want to hear it right now.
Go for it.
Ryan Hurst.
Here's the thing: is that when I thought Hunnam, I was thinking, how do we get Ryan Hurst into this?
I would make him Aquaman. I feel like it would have the Momoa vibe.
Yeah, well, there's where he would be a better character. He would be better Lobo. Because he's already done a guy on a motorcycle.
Yes. Oh, dang it! That is a good one. Dang. Which would okay? I don't know which one I would prefer. Ryan Hurst as Lobo or as Aquaman.
Well, you already got him as Aquaman. I just talked you into.
I know, but I'm just like
he could play a dual role.
I would let him. I would let Ope do it in a heartbeat. Absolutely, that would be dope. I specifically say Aquaman though because he's a huge yoga guy. Like he's really into yoga, so his flexibility it would be amazing to see what that would do in water settings, despite how big he is. Like I think that would be a lot of fun. So that's why I say, dang it though, him as Lobo is fun. I want to know what y'all think. Comment. I need to hear it. Let's go. I know you said you don't care about Aquaman and you're fine with Momoa coming back, but is there anyone else that you?
Well, since I don't care,
yeah,
Casey Affleck.
For someone who doesn't care, you thought of some very interesting thoughts there.
It actually just came up.
Are you?
It just came to mind.
Nah, but that's a fun one though. Casey,
he can do it.
I think he could.
Depending on the version of Aquaman that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because remember him in Interstellar?
Yes.
God, what a dick.
Oh my God. How old is Casey?
He's got to be in his 40s.
Definitely, but like. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah.
49.
Yeah. He still looks good though. See now, okay. you say Casey Affleck as a joke, but now I'm like, okay, how old is Scott Conn? And would he, if he was Green Arrow, what sort of interaction would those two have? Whereas one is a super socialist and the other one is a monarch. Would they? I see you're younger. That's
So it's one of those things where I would mind if we're gonna bring those two in.
Yes.
Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Oh well, damn, that's good. That's really good.
Take your pick.
You can. It doesn't matter.
Though I think Scott Conn looks more like
Booster.
Booster.
Yeah. I did see Sean William Scott as Booster. Somebody recommended that and I was like, that's a pretty good one.
I think he could do anybody really.
Yeah. But like he's been out of it for a minute. That would be a fun presentation. Okay. You've got Martian Manhunter up here. Now, colloquially, green characters are coded as black. So you almost have to go for a black actor, in my opinion. I don't know who I would pick yet, though. I have thoughts based on voice. So, like Sterling K. Brown, I like a lot.
Okay.
Do I think that he has the physical presence needed for it? I don't know about that. I don't think he's big enough.
Well, do you think that the character of John Jones would be more CG?
Maybe, but I would like for there to be a foundation of practical effects for it, not just CG, because I feel like obviously like when he shapeshifts, yes, that's going to be super CG stuff. That's going to be all over the place. But I want there to be something a little bit more rooted. Size-wise, I would like this is going to sound crazy. Rampage Jackson. But do I think that he's as good of an actor as Sterling? No. But physically, I think he would have the size frame that I would be looking for, but I don't know acting wise could he pull off the gentle giant nature that is Martian Manhunter? I don't know. But I would want something to that effect. Maybe it's Rampage physically, but then Sterling's voice. I would rock with that.
As far as Martian Manhunter goes, I would think that they would go when he's Martian Manhunter, a character that's got to be running around 7 feet tall.
Okay.
So I'm going with the CG character regardless.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw at you each movie that there's a Martian Manhunter, it's a different actor.
That is true. That would be a lot of fun.
And then I would get what I wanted with the Hulk.
You would, because every time it's somebody different.
Yeah.
And I think that actually, I mean, considering that he is a shapeshifter, that makes sense, like completely. Yeah. Would you have multiple actors in it per movie, or just every movie is a different actor?
Every movie is a different
actor.
Okay.
Because I mean that makes it fun.
He would shapeshift probably into different
genders, races, everything. Yeah.
But his primary alter ego would be that actor.
Okay. All right. I like that. I think that would be fun because then it makes Martian Manhunter like I don't want to say like a gag, but almost like this, Deus Ex Machina sort of thing where like he's around, but you never know which one is him. And like that, maybe that's like a sign of like Batman's intelligence. Batman always knows which one is him. And other people are like, how did you know that? And he's like, I'm Batman. Like that's how I knew. But that would be fun.
It's also a complete cop out because I couldn't think of anybody.
That's a smart cop out though. Like if you're gonna cop out like that. Like that is spot on. These last two, the Bat and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I almost suggested not putting those in because at some point in time they, obviously we're gonna get Batman.
We are gonna get Batman,
and Wonder Woman's part of the Trinity,
right?
But also we don't have casting yet.
We don't. I know who I want visually for Batman.
Okay.
Alan Ritchson. I want a towering Batman. I want that so bad. I loved what Ben Affleck was as Batman. He was brutal looking. Like you just saw him and were like, I'm going the other way. Like I'm turning around. I think Alan Ritchson is a younger version of that. I'm curious as to which one is actually taller between Ben or him, because Ben is tall, isn't he? Like, I know he doesn't seem like it in all the movies that he's in, but I think he's 6'3" plus, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's 6'2", 6'3".
Okay.
Alan is 6'3".
He's 6'3". Okay. Yeah, I dig his presence as
He's 6'3".
same height. I like it.
Except Alan Richardson's like ripped.
He is.
I mean, not that Ben Affleck wasn't big.
I mean, he
Richardson
earned
was
it, but
ripped.
Alan, he keeps that size,
Yeah.
and I think he fights well, he moves well in spite of his size, and all those things I would want to see in Batman.
So that would be like the third DC character that he's played.
That is true, isn't it? I forgot he was Aquaman. I was like, no, he was only Hawk. Nope, he was Aquaman. He was Aquaman. He was so skinny back then too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was younger.
Yeah, he was a lot younger.
Probably didn't,
Had
didn't
no
have
idea.
any money to eat.
He was a Smallville for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind that.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Alan Richardson. And it just, I almost don't care.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter who you pick, because there's going to be
Somebody that's mad.
there'll be a lot of people
Yes.
that are going to be mad, no matter who
Absolutely.
it is. And I thought that Ben Affleck was a really good choice, and I liked him in Batman versus Superman.
Yep.
Not so much Justice League because they nerfed the character.
They did.
Though he did have the best line.
I'm rich.
I'm rich. And then had the worst line. I don't not like you.
That was terrible.
But Alan Richardson, I always thought would be pretty good at that role. And dye his hair black.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Super simple.
Yeah.
I think that works. And what sold it for me was Reacher. I think there's a matter of thoughtfulness in Reacher that he has that I could see being Batman-esque. He's got to figure stuff out. Like, yes, he will just punch you, but he has to like strategically plan a lot of things, and I like the way he does it. It's still a very brute force fashion, so highly recommend him. I'll tell you who I don't want, Jensen Ackles. I hear it all the time, and I know he's done voice work as Batman. I am not interested in him being Batman at all.
I'm not a huge fan of his voice work as Batman.
I can't say that I am either. Like, I respect everyone that loves him from Supernatural and all that stuff. Like, absolutely. Like, high fives.
He's great in The Boys.
He's wonderful in The Boys. Don't want him as Batman.
Yeah, I'm not on board with
Not
that.
my thing. Although Jared Padalecki as Aquaman would be an interesting choice. Jared's really tall but very slender, and that could work too. So I like that. We'll throw that out there. Wonder Woman is a problem for me. I have a very strong affinity for Wonder Woman. She's my favorite DC Comics character, period. Like, without question. Love her. I am torn on the physical build of what she should look like. Now, through time, right? I have co-signed where fan casting was like, the wrestler Chyna should be Wonder Woman. Absolutely. When you see Adam Hughes' artwork, that's kind of who she looks like. She's thick, she's strong, all of that. Yes, I'm there. Then Adrian Palicki, I never saw the show, obviously, but the pictures, it was serviceable. She was fine.
Yeah.
I think wrong time, wrong type of show, that type of thing was the issue. But I have no problem with her doing it. I think there would be more of a challenge now. It's been quite some years since she was cast as Wonder Woman, so for her to come back, I don't think is impossible, but I think she would be better served as some other Amazon that would be there. I wanted Paula Patton to be Wonder Woman when, like, post, what is that, Mission Impossible 4? Like, she had a physicality to her that I liked.
Yeah.
She had a ambiguousness of racial identity that I thought would be palatable, that you could say, well, she's from this, island of Amazonian women, and it's not a yes or no that she's white, black, whatever. There's an ethnicity there. We just go with it. those aren't the greatest pictures.
Well, she's also pushing 50.
She is. So I totally like this is over time of things that I've wanted. Did I love Gal Gadot? She was cool in BVS. Have I loved her presentation as Wonder Woman since? Not necessarily. And I don't know that it's got anything to do with her, but just the presentation of Wonder Woman that she has been.
The look
cast
is
as.
fine. The stories haven't been great.
Yes.
The dialogue she's had
has been awful.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings me to a place where I don't know, in terms of female actresses that I would want to see do this. It would really kind of depend on what the story actually is. Like, has she been in Man's World for a while? Is she straight out the island and she's like super warrior and that's her mentality? Like, it depends on the story for me. So I really don't know which way I would want to go with that one.
Well, as far as story goes, if let's say she's been in Man's World, but she's gone the John Jones route.
Okay.
Where she's been hidden.
Right.
Would you be okay with that?
Yes. If she's being hidden for her own purposes, right? Like, she's choosing. That's always my thing with Wonder Woman is she's a character that you don't make her do anything. She chooses. And so long as the story is she has chosen to do this, I'm perfectly fine.
It was if you think of it in terms of wars.
Yeah.
She could have easily been here since the end of World War II.
Yes.
You know, they did what?
Right. And I'm going to stick around.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure they never do that again.
Right. And we never have. So, and making that part of the story of anytime that came up, she did something, whether that was overtly or covertly. Like, even if she's just in a room and she finds a general that's supposed to do it, she puts the lasso on him. It's like, you're not doing that. We're not doing that again. No. That would be an interesting one. There's a story that I think in '86 during the Cold War, there was a submarine that registered that we had fired nukes at Russia, and there were 3 people that had keys that were having to sign off on responding, and so they only had like a window of like a couple of minutes to fire back. And 2 of them said yes, and the last guy said no. He did not want to be the person that absolutely kicked off World War III. And so he said no, and they waited. And come to find out it was a malfunction computer thing, and so we hadn't actually shot at them, and so thankfully that didn't happen. I would love for that to be part of the story, that she's the reason. Like, there was an actual shot that came out, and boom. So we put her in the 80s. Who do I think could pull off some good 80s vibes right now? Man, my context for young actors is so off. Like, I don't watch enough shows. I don't know. I'm thinking like it's got to be somebody from a show of some sort, maybe like a former, for lack of a better term, a former Disney star who has grown up and done a good job. I did see somebody cast Elizabeth Olsen, and I'm like, I
saw photoshops of that.
Yeah. I'm like
close, but no.
No, not quite for me. I would much rather have Kobe Smolder as Wonder Woman. And I'm not saying I absolutely want her, but I would rather have her than Elizabeth Olsen. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. That's a tough sell for me.
I only have one person in mind,
Who you got?
But it doesn't work.
Who is it?
Gina Carano.
So funny that you say that, because I've had Gina in mind. Yes, I've dabbled with the idea of her as Wonder Woman, but I want her as Barda.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for me. So honestly, I've worked with her, moderated for a few times. She is such a gentle person that I think she could easily pull off that spirit of Diana.
Yeah.
Which works out really, really well. How old is Katie Sackhoff?
Oh, she's in her 40s.
Is she?
I spelled it wrong, I know.
You get there. Oh, yeah, it's 2 E's, I think. There we go.
Also, have you seen Katie Sackhoff lately?
Yeah.
Jeez, the super thin.
She is.
Mid-40s.
Yeah. All right. Man, I'm gonna have to think about that. I guess I'm overwhelmed because of how important I feel Diana is, that I don't know exactly who I would pick.
So you're going for perfect casting.
I kind of am, because I know I'm putting her up on a pedestal because that character means that much to me. So everybody else, like, I could be super fluid, but yeah, for her, I'm like, I don't know. I would want to nail someone that embodies what all I think Diana does, and that's a lot. I know it's a lot, but I gotta figure that out. Ooh, nah, she's a little too slim. I was gonna say Sophia. She was in Rebel Moon. Was she in Rebel Moon? Yes, she was in Rebel Moon. She was definitely in the Kingsman. Yes, there we go. I think
it's so funny. It shows
it hurt me say it. That's what it is.
I don't think she's a very good actress.
Okay. I mean, I can't argue that. Like, I can't say like there was a role where her presentation was what sold me. I like the character, but a lot of that has to do with what the story was and
like
things that she physically does.
Kingsman.
So, yeah. She was just cool.
Yeah, and she was fine in Into Darkness, Star Trek Into Darkness.
She was. So yeah, I guess I don't know. Someone somewhere is gonna be like Zendaya, and I'm like, no.
Well, like I would have said that, but also no.
I want Zendaya for like Batgirl. Give me that.
Sophia Patel is not short, but she's not necessarily tall.
Yeah, no. And she's my age, so not terrible. Early 40s. So,
that's fine.
Yeah. And I think that there would be like an innocence to her Wonder Woman that would work for me. So, but she'll fight you, and you know she'll fight you.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely think she's a badass.
Oh yeah.
I just don't But then. Oh, Gina Carano's okay as far as acting goes.
Yes, yeah. She pulls off characterizations well.
As long as she's in her lane.
She doesn't stir the pot. She's gotta be good.
Well, no, I mean as far as her acting goes, stay in her lane as far as her act, because she's not Academy Award winning.
I mean, she could get there. She could get there with some training, some help. Get the right cast members to work against. It could be dope.
Yep.
Okay, so when we were talking about this ancillarily, I said I wanted Ben Schwartz in this as Plastic Man, and I don't think you responded. Do you care about Plastic Man as a character? Is he?
Like going to the original version of that character. No.
Okay.
But in terms of thinking that he could probably be the most dangerous character in the DC universe, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ben Schwartz would work fine, I think. Especially if it's a neurotic version of Plastic Man. I don't have anybody in mind for that character.
Okay.
Because I don't really...
Wow. Am I a jerk for not thinking of Donald Glover for Jon Stewart?
I think he's too old.
Okay. All right. Is he too short to be Martian Manhunter?
I don't think... I don't think
CG.
anybody's too short to be that, because I think the character is going to be CG, so no.
So, okay.
Could he be one of the versions of John Jones, as far as I'm concerned? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I like that. That would be fun. All right. I like this list. I think we have a viable list of folks here. Who else would you throw out there as a
character?
Yeah. That you would like to see.
I think I kind of want to see Firestorm.
Really? Okay. Which version?
The original version.
Okay. All right. So who would you cast? I mean, you got two choices. Obviously, Victor Garber did a wonderful role in the Flash series as the Professor.
Alden Ehrenreich as the kid.
Okay.
Was it? I can't remember his name. Yeah. See.
Yes. Firestorm.
How about Danny Glover as the professor?
Oh, that would be fun. I mean, he doesn't have to do much. Floating head.
Yeah.
That works. And when he says something like, I'm too old for this, you like laugh because you're like, I get that reference.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah. Good job. Good job. Okay. That's a solid choice. All right. So we're going to give this to you guys, and we want to know your top 3 character picks. We want you to pick the character and the actor that you think should be part of your fan casting for the DCU's upcoming Justice League format. Obviously, we left out Superman because we already know who Superman is. You're going to know who Superman is. You're going to love him. But we want to know your top 3, who you would pick in terms of characters and cast members, and let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Again, if you've listened to this whole thing, you haven't subscribed, what you waiting on? Like, come on, it's right there. Push the button. I am Victor Dandridge, lovingly called the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill, and I'm a little bit faster on my feet this time.
Hey, we'll chat with you next time. See y'all soon.